Hello everyone out there in YouTube land. Today we are going to take a look at the art and life of Darwyn Cooke. Darwyn Cooke was born in Canada and lived from November 16th, 1962 to May 14th, 2016. He was taken from us much too soon as he passed away from cancer at the age of 53. Despite this, he created a large and amazing body of artwork and has a style that is unique and instantly recognizable as his own. He was a comic book writer, artist, cartoonist, and an animator, known for his work on the comic books Catwoman, DC The New Frontier, The Spirit, Richard Stark's Parker, The Hunter. On DC The New Frontier, he won an Eisner, Harvey, and a Shuster Award. So, starting off, he discovered comics as a child, but did not become passionate about them until he was a teenager, after having bought an issue of The Amazing Spider-Man. So, in 1985, Darwyn Cooke published his first comic book work as a professional artist. It was a 5-page crime story in New Talent Showcase number 19, but it didn't pay him very well, so he left comics to work as a magazine art director, a graphic designer, and a product designer for the next 15 years. He even established his own design studio. But in 1996, Cooke learned that Warner Brothers was hiring storyboard artists for its 2 animated series based on DC Comics heroes, Batman the Animated Series and Superman the Animated Series, both of which are great shows. Superman the Animated Series is one of my all-time favorite shows, just as a side note. And his successful pitch to them included 14 pages that would be published in the year 2000 as Batman Ego. Now in 1999, he animated the main title design for Batman Beyond. In 2001, Cooke and writer Ed Brubaker revamped Catwoman. They started off with a 4-issue serial called Trial of the Catwoman in Detective Comics 759 through 762. Now this story led into a new Catwoman title developed in late 2001 by Brubaker and Cooke once again, in which the character's costume and supporting cast were redesigned. Cooke would stay on with the series until issue 4, and then in 2002, he wrote and drew a prequel called Selina's Big Score, and this graphic novel happened directly before her new series. So Cooke's next project was DC The New Frontier, which came out in 2004, and is probably what he's most well known for. It's a 6-issue miniseries which bridged the gap between the end of the Golden Age and the start of the Silver Age in comic books in the DC universe. This story, which is set in the 1950s, featured dozens of superhero characters and drew inspiration from the comic books and movies of the time period. The major DC characters are introduced in The New Frontier in the same order that DC originally published them, even down to the correct month and year in the story's timeline. This is my favorite of his creations, and I really love the art and story throughout it. This series was later made into an animated movie, which you may have seen. It was released in 2006, and it is also called The New Frontier.
We stand today on the edge of a new frontier, the frontier of unknown opportunities and perils. I'm asking each of you to be pioneers towards that new frontier.
So, in 2006, after The New Frontier, Cooke and writer Jeff Loeb produced a Batman the Spirit intercompany crossover. It was followed in December by an ongoing The Spirit series written and drawn by Darwyn Cooke, and that's a really great story. It's filled with crime stories and action and adventure and humor. And so in 2007, Cooke and Jay Bone won a Joe Shuster Award for Outstanding Canadian Comic Book Artists for their work on Batman the Spirit. Cooke also won an Outstanding Canadian Comic Book Cartoonist Award for his work on the Spirit. So Cooke also wrote the first 6-issue story arc for a new Superman monthly series called Superman Confidential, which debuted in November 1st, 2006. Superman Confidential featured stories set in the early years of Superman's career. In June 2007, Cooke was awarded the Joe Shuster Award for Outstanding Comic Book Writer for Superman Confidential. In 2009, IDW Publishing published Cooke's Richard Starks Parker, The Hunter, which is an adaptation of a Donald Westlake novel. The Hunter, the first of 4 Parker novels Cooke adapted for IDW. The second, The Outfit, was released in 2010, The Score was released in 2012, and Slayground was released in 2013. Now, these covers are really cool. Cooke was the writer and artist of Before Watchmen, Minutemen, and he's also the writer of Before Watchmen, The Silk Spectre. And those came out between 2012 and 2013. So I think it's really neat he took on the Watchmen universe. The Watchmen was one of the books that first got me really into comics. And let's see, in 2014, Darwyn Cooke released a Batman Beyond animated short celebrating the 75th anniversary of Batman. So aside from all of that, he had a whole bunch of covers which I really like. In 2014, he had this great Teen Titans cover, Teen Titans number 5. I really like this one. He had a whole bunch for DC from that era. Green Lantern is really great, Superman, Wonder Woman, and a whole bunch of others. Really, between 1999 or so and 2014, he had many great covers, including All-Star Western, Batman and Robin, Batman Beyond, Weird Western Tales, Painkiller Jane, The Spirit, Stephen Colbert's Tech Jansen, Jersey Gods for Image Comics, Justice Society of America number 50 from 2011, Batwing, Green Lantern Corps, Supergirl, Justice League Unlimited, Aquaman. So he did a ton of covers, and he also did penciling on quite a few books too. So that's my tribute to Darwyn Cooke. I hope you liked it. As always, please like, share, and subscribe. It really helps me out a lot. Thank you.
End of line.